the good stuff. And now we'll go into a little Q&A. All right. Let's see. So Infinity says, for your cycle, I doubt it going forward. 300 billion doesn't care about your cycle. I heard the same thing. I heard the same thing in 2021. Seemed to work out okay. And no one really knows. It's just an opinion, right? I have an opinion. You have an opinion. Other people have an opinion. But I still think it's going to play out. I know some people will say, like, it doesn't matter about the halving. It has nothing to do with the price for the halving. That may be true. I think it has something to do with it. I think one person out of the 8 billion people, or the 450 million people that have picked up crypto along their journey, maybe they take a look at it and say, well, you know what? Maybe one person says, I think that might be a factor. And that factor for that halving, and of course, there's a less of a supply, so it becomes more scarce. I'm going to FOMO in or pick up into it. So maybe one person, who knows? Or maybe it's 50% or 70%. I'm not for sure, but I think that it does play a role in some way, shape, or form. The question is, how much? Is it 100%? Is it 80%? I don't know. But it seems to be something. And go from there. All right, so here's some questions. J2 Day, Rob, have you swapped Matic for Pole yet or Polygon yet? No, I haven't. Apparently I should do that. I'll get to that at some point. I think we had enough time. And then Joe Coconut says, hey, Rob, I love your stuff. With the emergence of various blockchain tech, I do often get blinded by all the shining stuff. How do you stay informed in the crypto space beside Ben's site? It's very tough because there's so many different things coming out. And you have to understand that a lot of these, remember like we talked about 2017 and 2021, only 20% hit their all-time high. So then you think about, well, which ones were massive in 2021? Well, the ones that didn't even exist in 2017. I mean, look no farther than Solana. Solana was enormous, and it didn't even exist back then. I think it came about in end of 2019, maybe 2020, correct me in the comments section. And that's going to happen again. The question is, how much do you want to look into it to find that gem? And some people, like I've met some people in our meetups at Puerto Rico, they'll show me a portfolio of 100 S coins. I have no idea what they are. Absolutely. And they're like, I've got 1,000 here, I've got 1,000 there, I've got like 100,000 of these, and these are all $1,000. And of course, if these all 100x, and I'll be making money like crazy. You can do that. I just don't have the time to do that. And that's why I invest into the things that I think are going to do pretty well. And it's not a max out type of thing. Some people say that, well, if it's all about money and you're trying to make as much, then why don't you just get into the altcoins? I could, but again, like I said, the farther down you go, the more at risk is. You can do that. Again, your goals are not my goals. Your plan is not my plan. If you have a plan and your plan is that, stick to that plan and hopefully it works out for you. Again, what did Ben say? There is no we in investing. There's you and you, and that's it. And no true rewards have been said before. Let's see. What do we got? Dan, what was it site? You see that percentage of people in profit versus not? It looks like a CoinGecko. If you're looking for who's in profit or not, the one I usually go to is Into the Block, intotheblock.com. I don't have a link or a affiliate link, but if you search for Into the Block, you'll find it. It is a paid website, though. And then James says, I take it from this, you want to sell back into a failing fiat currency. There's some truth to that. You know, people will always say, why do you sell into dollars when it's going to inflate away? Whatever the inflation rate today is, whatever the government makes up, whatever it really is. I think for true inflation, I think we're at 2.35, but whatever. So the thing is with that is that you have to understand, and this is something I didn't talk about in the video. Every time you're getting into investing, you think you'll stop at some point, like, oh, I'll just put it all in the bank, money there, go to tropical island, drink Mai Tais, and do absolutely nothing. That's not how it works. At some point, maybe when you're like 90, maybe you can slow down, I guess. But for me, I look at it like this. I will always be investing. I will always be getting into assets. The thing is, and this is the same thing with traditional finance. At some point, people who are in traditional equities, they'll look at stocks and they'll say, okay, this stock ran up and I'm going to take profits and then get out of it and get into another stock. And I'm going to run that up, hopefully, and get out of it. For me, for assets, it very works like this. Bitcoin is going to do great, right? But at some point, and so far it's played out the same way, it'll probably have like a little bit of a massive pullback, again, if we believe in the 4-year cycle. So what would I do? Take those funds, and maybe first of all, I can't tell you what to do, but maybe if you have massive debt at 20-some%, maybe you want to pay off some of that debt. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to let it ride. Just say, I'm taking Bitcoin forever, right? But just remember that if you got in at 60,000 and then when it dropped to like 15, 16, 17, maybe you're like, maybe I should have taken some profits. And then for that, I look at the cash, I go, maybe I want to invest into other assets like precious metals. I personally own gold and silver. I don't see the problem with the gold bugs, why they hate us so much. I think not every one of them does. I think it's just Peter Schiff and whatever he's doing. But he just is like a bad stance on everything. I think gold and silver people like Mike Maloney, they get Bitcoin, they understand it quite well, and they're very smart and with it. So that would be one aspect. Also, land and real estate. I think those are great assets to get into, especially for long-term investments and to pass them on. Also, there's a great issue with owning real estate as far as tax benefits, as far as the depreciating value of those assets. And of course, as they depreciate, you can use that on your taxes. Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to still pay taxes at some point. So maybe you think about those things and just say, well, maybe there's something else I can do. So to answer your question, James, no. I'm not going to just sit with cash, but I will say the people that did sell their altcoins and yes, some Bitcoin, and they were sitting on a heavy bunch of cash, as that started to decrease, they probably were feeling pretty good, just saying. And I'm not a big trader, but you can do all those things. So I think it might need a haircut. This is like, it's supposed to reduce the reverberation or something. I don't know. Hey, Darth. And Mullet says it right. I think Schiff has too much invested to like anything else but gold. But you understand, Peter Schiff, he called it perfectly back in the day when gold had a massive spike. And he's been living off that forever. And for as long as I've known him, it's the same thing. There's going to be a recession. It's going to be huge. You got to get into gold. Next month, there's going to be a recession. You got to get into, it's going to be huge. You got to get into gold. And every so many years, he's absolutely right. But the question is the timing. And I don't really care what he does, but I know what I'm doing, and it seems to work out okay. Peter's a slow learner. And I'll say what Jeff says. Everyone gets Bitcoin the price they deserve. You get Bitcoin and altcoins the price you deserve. That's true. Even me. Yeah, Crypto Ricardo says, hold on, where'd he go? There we go. Even better. While sitting on a pile of cash, you can sell cash secured calls all the way down and pocket juicy premiums. Yeah. Or you can get into like what some other people do. They get into bonds. They get into treasuries. They get into T-bills. And it's just free money. And that's like, if you're, a millionaire, multimillionaire, why wouldn't you do that? It's the safest thing you could possibly do. I think it's a pretty good way to do things. Also, this is what my wife does, is instead of the cash just sitting there, she'll make loans out. And she'll make loans, and then she'll be a first lien holder on different properties. And then, of course, the interest rates are pretty favorable, and people pay them off at a premium. That's not a bad way to do things either. Again, make the money work for you. Don't let it just sit around and be lazy, like I get. Jeff says, Michael Saylor said Peter really doesn't actually hold that much gold. Yeah, I remember there was a debate between him and Richard Hart. And Richard Hart asked him, how much gold he has as compared to equities. And he says, well, I held more stocks than I do gold. And it's like, well, if you believe in it so much, why don't you just hold more of that? He's like, well, because it doesn't appreciate as well. I was like, well, that's very telling. I mean, me personally, like I have 30% of my net worth is in crypto digital assets. The other 30% is into real estate, and then I have them spaced around between iTrust, cash, a little diversification as far as like Masterworks or other businesses. So yeah, not bad. It's a good question. Mohammed says, hey, Rob, in your opinion, does gold hit all-time high in 2024? I don't know. There's a lot of different people out there that are much smarter than me on gold. So I'll tell you what I know and what I don't know. I don't know. It'd be great if it did. That'd be awesome. I think Schiff is right about the next crash, but his time is off. Yeah, look, it's just like It's like your parents, they tell you, you're going to get in a car accident, you're going to get in a car accident. 10 years later, you get in a car accident. You're like, see, I told you. Well, yeah, you're going to fall. You're going to fall. 20 years later, you fell. Oh, I told you you're going to fall. So Carrot Waffle says, hey, Rob, if you see Bitcoin returns higher than alts, why do you DCA into alts? It's very simple. It's because right now I can't time it. And I know some people will say, well, this guy timed it and that guy timed it. Well, good for them. I'm not them. So I don't know what's going to happen. And I know some people would say that you shouldn't have DCA'd at all because Bitcoin was going to 10K or 8K or something like that. And I'm like, well, where the hell are those people now? Quite honestly. All those people that were calling for it to go to that price, where are they now? They shut up because it didn't. And if you just would have dollar cost average into things, you would have done pretty well. Again, if you look at Bitcoin, it's gone up 106, 108% since the beginning of the year, correct? Somewhere around there, right? But, I mean, you can always take a look at the Solanas of the world and say, well, that's done pretty damn good too. I don't know if it's gone, well, yeah, it's gone over, let's take a look, shall we? And again, this is one altcoin out of a myriad of massive amounts of altcoins. So if I had a crystal ball, which I don't, let's see. Let's take it for 1 year. Oh man, that's pretty sad. It was at 36 bucks. Then December it went here. Well, yeah. Let's see. What's the 1st of January? Okay, 2nd of January. We'll just use that number. 11 bucks. All right? And now what is it today? 31 bucks. Let me do some quick math. That's a little more than 100%. So again, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody really does. It's a good estimated guess, but that's why I dollar cost average a bunch of things. Now, moving forward, I think that some alts will outperform Bitcoin. I do believe that. Which ones? I don't know. And that's why I spread things around, diversify. So yeah, I saw a license plate on it that just said Solana. That guy must like it. I am in a lot of pain. Thank you for noticing. It sucks. It sucks just to sit here. I got these bars right here, and I can just kind of take the pressure off and just do this. That feels good. But yeah, I mean, what else am I going to do? Am I going to lay around and be in? If I'm going to be in pain, I might as well be up and doing something in pain, right? That's it. Gen X Crypto says, many YouTubers were saying don't FOMO into Bitcoin when it pumped from 16 to 70K in January 2023. My message on this channel has been the same forever, which is very simple. I am not smart. I am not a genius by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't know enough to really time the market perfectly. So because of that, I feel that dollar cost averaging, although may not be the best returns if you can time it, the bottoms and the tops, which whoever the hell is doing that, I will just keep doing the same thing and then it's move forward. Now, does that mean that, oh, Rob got something right and he's not going to be wrong? Tomorrow could be totally different. Tomorrow, that's the thing. Tomorrow we could see, who knows? Gary Gensler comes out and says, you know what? Unequivocally, I am not going to approve this Bitcoin ETF because it's all, and he just said this actually in an interview yesterday, Wednesday. He said it again. He said, crypto, the digital asset market is filled with scammers and fraudsters and manipulators. He doubled down, quadrupled down on what he said. And after that, tomorrow, maybe we get into some massive, enormous war or, I don't know, something happens because you never know. So what does that mean for me? Well, that means for me, between us, I was not happy that there was this bull run, this little, pump, because I was like, because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, 4-year cycle should play out. I got a lot of time to accumulate. I've been accumulating now for 2 years. Let me get my cost basis down and keep buying Bitcoin and some altcoins. And you know exactly what I'm buying because I talk about it every Sunday. And I was very, not upset. I mean, my portfolio was up. I'm like, well, that's good. But in the long run, I'm not here for this month or next month. I'm here for the next years and years and years. And I just feel like I had a lot of time and I didn't get that time. But I mean, you're always going to feel that way. Let's be honest. Yeah. I do the dog walks every morning, but it's just every step is excruciating. So, but I know it's supposed to help. But again, thanks everybody for reaching out. Physical therapy, manual physical therapy, inversion tables, dry needling, chiropractic services, injections, anti-inflammatories, hot cold plunges, exercises. I mean, I'm trying them all. Trust me. I did not want to go into the knife. And if it was just me and me being smart enough, I should have not deadlifted that stump out of the ground. Idiot. But Donnie says, dump the missus, sell the car, and buy Bitcoin. Well, my life doesn't go on without my wife, so that's it. I don't know. You can have all the money in the world if you don't have your best friend next to you. What matters? It doesn't matter. Rusty, you're just on time. This is a great question. In your opinion, do you think we revisit 20K to 30K range ever again? Absolutely. And you know what I gauge that from? Everybody on Twitter who's saying this is the last chance you're going to have to buy Bitcoin before 30K. I'm like, as soon as I see that, I'm like, shh, there you go. Now we're going to have to go down because that's the indicator. And it's the same thing. Like I remember when people were saying you'll never get Bitcoin below 20K. And that was in October of 2022. Went down to 15.7. What are you going to do? Yeah. Hey, Iska, I don't know. I'm a bit cautious about this rally. New profile picture, very nice. I don't want to get too excited. I'm here for years to come. Yeah, me too. Again, and everybody knows that this channel is not going away in the height of the bull market, but I will stop doing videos because if I tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute that plan. I'll come on here and tell you, okay, I sold. This was the indicators I talked about 2 years ago or whenever it is. I sold 50 to 80%. I'm holding on to this. And I'll probably just rehash, do some watch-alongs maybe, but I'm not going to put out any new videos because all the shenanigans and all the problems happen in the bull market. And everybody gets over their skis and they get over exuberant and they do stupid things. Just look at the last one. So at that point, I'm going to step off and say, this is what I've done. And you're welcome to take a look at that and maybe incorporate that, or just keep doing what you're doing. And then once everything crashes, and it'll crash, then I'll come back. Because I think that's when people will, if I say the message before, I'm going to lose out on a lot of subscribers, but who cares? It's just a bunch of tourists at that point. And they're going to screw up anyhow. So then I just tell them I sold, and, you get the price you deserve, hasta la vista, and that's it. And then I come back in the bear market and do what I do now. Everybody can yell at me. Yeah, that's it. This is the problem. I did hot yoga for 6 years. And then the year that I stop it is the one I screw up my back. See? Yeah. What if Rob has been the green screen? Rob, I think this XRP hype. XRP is going to do pretty well. I think now that it's not under the thumb of Gary Gensler and the SEC suing him, I think they'll have appropriate price appreciation. And nobody deserves it more than the XRP army who's been waiting so patiently. What's on Rob's wish list when you cash out? Not much. My life pretty much won't change. What am I going to do? Buy another indoor pool green screen? It just doesn't make much sense. Maybe update my Dodge Grand Caravan still works. I don't see what point of buying another one. Makes no sense. And that's it. Rare Panda Pie. You should focus on your health, Rob. Thanks for the videos. Been pain, same, but take care. That's it. A new wife. That was the dumbest idea I could possibly have. And that's it. Give some a charity. Perfect. Anyhow, that's a good way to stand it. Everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. We're going over an hour. My back is killing me, but that's it for today. So if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. But that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Adios.